Have you ever needed to pick a random color for your project, but found yourself stuck? It can be a real challenge, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into how to get a random item from an enumeration in TypeScript. I totally get it. Working with enums can sometimes feel like a puzzle, especially when you just want a quick solution. You're not alone in this. Many developers face the same question when working with TypeScript. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, how do I get a random item from an enumeration? They want to know how to randomly select a color from a predefined list. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what exactly is an enumeration in TypeScript? Enums are a way to define a set of named constants, which can make your code more readable and manageable. Understanding how to work with them is crucial for effective coding. And stick around. I have a handy tip at the end that will make working with enums even easier. You won't want to miss it. To get a random item from an enumeration in TypeScript, the user should first define the enumeration. In this case, we have an enumeration called colors with 3 values: red, green, and blue. Next, the user needs to create a function that will return a random color from this enumeration. This function will utilize the built-in math.random method to generate a random index. Now the user can call this function to retrieve a random color. Each time the function is called, it will return one of the colors defined in the enumeration. Finally, the user should test the function multiple times to see the random output. This will confirm that the function is working as intended. Fun fact, did you know that the first programming languages didn't even have enums? Imagine coding without them. We've come a long way. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach to getting a random enum value in TypeScript is provided by another user. They suggest using the object.values method from ES 2017. This method retrieves all the values of the enum. Then a random index is generated to select one of those values. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach shared by a user involves using an enum called jokenpo, which includes paper, rock, and scissor. To select a random item, they calculate a random index based on the number of keys in the enum. Then, they retrieve the corresponding value and return it as the random selection. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach to getting a random enum in TypeScript involves using the object.keys method. First, you can log the enum to see its structure, which includes both numeric values and string keys. Then, you can filter out the numeric values using map and filter methods. Once you have the numeric values, you can generate a random index using a function that returns a random integer. Finally, use this index to select a random enum value from your filtered array. That's all for that response. Let's see what someone else had to say. An alternative solution provided by a user suggests a straightforward method to get a random color from the enum. They define the enum with colors red, green, and blue, and use a function to generate a random index. It's important to note that the return type is the enum index, not the color name itself. This method is simple and effective for retrieving a random color. Let's check out another perspective from a different user. An alternative approach to getting a random enum in TypeScript involves using a function that retrieves random keys from the enum. This method supports both string and heterogeneous enums. To get a random value from the enum, you can use another function that calls the random enum key function. This allows you to easily access the corresponding value. You can also directly access a random enum value using the randomenum key function with your enum. This provides a quick way to get a random value. Here's that handy tip I promised. Always remember to check the length of your enum when generating random values. This will save you from potential errors. And there you have it. You now know how to get a random item from an enumeration in TypeScript. Keep experimenting with your code, and if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips and tricks.